She told everyone at our engagement party that she needed more time to be sure and asked them not to buy gifts yet. When I asked why she'd announced that publicly, she said, "I'm being honest. Isn't that what you want?" I honestly canceled the wedding the next day. Hey viewers, real quick, only 8% of you watching are subscribed, and the channel's kind of stuck right now. If you enjoy these stories, hitting that subscribe button would really help us keep going. Thanks. Let me get something straight from the jump. I've never been the type to put up with disrespect. My dad taught me early that respect is earned, but self-respect is non-negotiable. So when this went down, my decision wasn't emotional, it was inevitable. Some quick background. I, 34M, met Jenna, 32F, at an industry networking event 3 years ago. We were both in sales, though for companies in different sectors, so no professional conflicts. I was selling enterprise software while she worked for a marketing firm. We hit it off over drinks, exchanged numbers, and started dating. 8 months in, I landed a promotion that brought me to her city. 6 months after relocating, we decided to move in together, finding a new apartment that would be ours equally from the start. Our relationship was solid in most ways. We both had good careers, split expenses evenly from day one. I insisted on this, and generally enjoyed each other's company. The sex was great, conversation flowed easily, and we had similar goals. Marriage seemed like the logical next step. I proposed during a weekend trip to a mountain cabin I'd rented through Airbnb. Nothing over the top, just a private moment with a view after a challenging hike we'd been planning for months. She said yes without hesitation. When we got back to the city, we had a conversation about the engagement ring that reflected our relationship values. "I want this to be a true partnership," I told her. "I know traditionally the man buys the ring, but what do you think about us both contributing?" She actually loved the idea, saying it represented our equal commitment to each other. We selected a ring together and each paid half, which felt right for us. Fast forward to our engagement party last month. We'd rented a private room at an upscale restaurant, invited about 50 close friends and family members. Everyone was dressed up, champagne flowing. My parents flew in from across the country. Her sister made a custom photo collage. The works. Dinner was served, and my best friend Jason stood to make a toast. He said some genuinely touching things about us as a couple, raised his glass, and everyone cheered. Then Jenna stood up. I expected her to say something sweet, maybe thank everyone for coming. Instead, she smiled awkwardly and said, "Thank you all so much for being here. It means the world to us. I just want to mention, please don't feel any pressure to buy gifts yet or make concrete plans. I'm still processing this big step. I need a bit more time to be sure before we set a date." The room went silent. I felt every eye dart between us. My mother's face fell. Jenna's dad looked at his shoes. Jason's wife whispered something in his ear. I maintained a neutral expression, but internally, I was blindsided. She sat down, squeezed my hand under the table, and whispered, "We'll talk later." The party continued, but the mood had shifted. There was an unmistakable awkwardness. People avoided mentioning wedding plans. Some left earlier than expected. My parents kept shooting me concerned glances. After the last guest departed, we got in the car for the drive home. I waited until we were alone before speaking. "What was that about?" I asked, keeping my voice level. "What was what about?" "You know what? Announcing to everyone that you're not sure about marrying me." She sighed. "That's not what I said. I just said I needed more time before setting a date." At our engagement party, in front of everyone we know, after accepting my proposal 2 months ago. "I'm being honest, isn't that what you want?" she replied. "Would you rather I pretended to be ready if I'm not?" "I'd rather you had discussed any doubts with me privately before accepting the ring, moving forward with planning a party, and then blindsiding me in front of our families. You're overreacting. I didn't say I don't want to marry you, I just need more time." We went back and forth like this for a while. She kept framing it as honesty, as if publicly humiliating me was some sort of virtue. I went to bed in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, replaying the evening and our entire relationship. By morning, I had clarity. This wasn't just about her announcement. It was about respect, for me, for our relationship, for the people who traveled to celebrate with us. I didn't sleep much, but I did make a decision. I got up early, made coffee, and waited for her to wake up. When she came into the kitchen, I was calm. "I've been thinking about what you said," I began, "about needing more time." She looked relieved. "I'm glad you understand. I'm canceling the wedding," I said simply. Her coffee mug froze halfway to her lips. "What? Not postponing, canceling. We're done." "Because I said I need more time?" "That's extreme, don't you think?" "No, it's not about needing time. It's about how you handled it. You embarrassed me in front of everyone we care about rather than having a private conversation. That shows a fundamental lack of respect." "So you're throwing away our whole relationship over one comment?" "I'm recognizing that someone who would do that isn't someone I want to build a life with. The comment was just the final piece of information I needed." She switched tactics, tears forming. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just nervous and it came out wrong." "Maybe, but your first instinct when I expressed that I was hurt wasn't to apologize. It was to tell me I was overreacting. That's not how partners treat each other. So that's it? Just like that?" "Just like that." I spent the next hour outlining a practical separation plan. Since we'd gotten our apartment together, and both names were on the lease, neither of us had more claim to it than the other. I volunteered to be the one to move out simply because I wanted a clean break. We'd sell the furniture we bought together and split the proceeds. No drama, no revenge, just a clean break. She alternated between crying, bargaining, and anger throughout the conversation. But my decision was made. By that afternoon, I'd booked an Airbnb for a month and started packing essentials. The next day, I sent a simple group message to everyone who attended the party. "After careful consideration, Jenna and I have decided not to move forward with our wedding plans. We appreciate your support and understanding of our privacy during this time." Predictably, my phone exploded. I answered only my parents and Jason, giving them the bare minimum details. To everyone else, I simply reiterated that we had made our decision and I wasn't interested in discussing it further. Jenna had a different approach. According to mutual friends, she was telling everyone I'd had an extreme overreaction to a small moment of honesty, that I was controlling and had anger issues, that she dodged a bullet. I didn't engage with the rumors, didn't post anything on social media, didn't try to control the narrative. I simply moved forward with rebuilding my life. 2 weeks later, I was settled in a temporary place and focusing on work when Jason invited me to grab a beer. "You okay, man?" he asked as we sat down at the bar. "Yeah, surprisingly good," I replied honestly. It was the right call. I gotta say, when she made that announcement, Lauren and I were shocked. That's what she whispered to me. "Did you know she was gonna say that?" I shook my head. "No one did. Not even me." He took a sip of his beer. "Well, there's something you should probably know. I wasn't gonna tell you, but since it's over anyway." Apparently, at Jason's birthday party 3 months earlier, while we were already engaged, Jenna had gotten drunk and made some concerning comments to his wife Lauren. She'd complained that I wasn't as ambitious as she'd hoped, that she was worried about settling, and that she sometimes missed being single. She'd also asked Lauren not to mention the conversation to me or Jason. Lauren had been uncomfortable keeping it from us, but had honored Jenna's request for privacy. After the engagement party fiasco, she felt I deserved to know. "Thanks for telling me," I said. "Just confirms I made the right decision." A month after moving out, I found my own apartment and fully separated our lives. The engagement ring, which we'd split the cost of, was sold, and I transferred her half of the proceeds. Any shared accounts were closed. I changed my routine to avoid places we used to frequent together. Through mutual connections, I heard she'd started dating again almost immediately. Good for her. I focused on myself, picked up rock climbing again, something I'd enjoyed before meeting her, reconnected with old friends, threw myself into a big project at work. Then came the unexpected twist. About 3 months post-breakup, I received a text from Jenna's sister Megan, who I'd always gotten along with. "I've been debating whether to tell you this, but I think you deserve to know. Jenna was seeing someone else when she made that announcement at your engagement party. Guy from her gym. It had been going on for a couple months. That's why she needed more time. She was deciding between you two. I confronted her about it recently, and she admitted everything. I'm sorry." I thanked Megan for her honesty, but didn't engage further. Didn't feel the need to confront Jenna or expose her publicly. The information changed nothing about my decision. It just validated it further. 6 months to the day after our broken engagement, I was at a business dinner in Chicago when I ran into Jenna unexpectedly. She was there with colleagues, looked surprised to see me. We exchanged brief, civil nods across the restaurant. Later, as I was leaving, she approached me near the coat check. "You look good," she said. "Thanks. You too." "I've been doing a lot of thinking about what happened with us," she started. "I handled things badly. I should have been upfront with you." "Yes, you should have. I miss you sometimes. What we had was good mostly." I met her eyes directly. "It wasn't good enough? Maybe we could get coffee sometime, just to talk?" "I don't see the point, Jenna. I wish you well, but that chapter's closed." She looked disappointed but nodded. "I understand. Take care of yourself, Ryan." "You too." Walking out into the Chicago night, I felt nothing but certainty. No anger, no lingering attachment, just the satisfaction of knowing I'd made the right call and stuck with it. Fast forward to today, 1 year after the engagement party disaster. I've been promoted to National Sales Director, requiring relocation to our headquarters in Boston. The move has been good for me. New city, new energy. 4 months after moving to Boston, I met Allison through a mutual connection at a charity event. She's a corporate attorney with a pragmatic outlook that I appreciate. We've been dating for about 5 months now, taking things at a measured pace. There was no overlap. I took time to process my previous relationship before starting anything new. Last week, I received a wedding invitation from Jason and Lauren. In the accompanying note, Jason mentioned that they'd explicitly not invited Jenna, despite her attempts to maintain friendship with Lauren. That kind of loyalty means something. As I RSVP'd to their wedding, I found myself reflecting on the relationship with Jenna and what I'd learned from it. Looking back, I recognize now that there were subtle red flags that I'd overlooked. Small comments that devalued my accomplishments. Occasional flakiness on commitments. A pattern of telling half-truths to avoid difficult conversations. Nothing dramatic enough to trigger alarm bells individually, but a pattern nonetheless. I've learned that respecting yourself isn't just about grand gestures or standing up against obvious wrongs. Sometimes it's about recognizing when someone's behavior doesn't align with what you deserve, even in small ways, and having the courage to walk away. The night of that engagement party, everyone witnessed Jenna's moment of honesty. What they didn't see was my moment of clarity that followed. When she asked, "Isn't honesty what you want?" she was right about one thing. I did want honesty, and honestly I deserved better. That's not pride talking. That's self-respect, and it's non-negotiable. Update, 1 year later. It's been 2 years since the engagement party incident, and life continues to move in positive directions. The promotion in Boston has exceeded expectations, and I've just closed the biggest deal in our company's history. My relationship with Allison is going well. We've been together about 1.5 years now, and recently started discussing moving in together. Something we're approaching thoughtfully after my previous experience. I hadn't heard anything about Jenna in nearly 1 year when Jason called me last week with some news he thought I should know. Jason and I have remained close friends despite the distance, making efforts to catch up regularly. "Remember how Jenna was seeing that guy from her gym?" he asked during our monthly call. "The one she was juggling while we were engaged?" "Yeah." "Well, apparently they got engaged 3 months ago. Lauren still follows some of our old mutual friends on social media, so she sees updates occasionally." "Good for them," I said, meaning it. "There's more. Lauren still follows Jenna's sister on Instagram. Megan posted cryptically about history repeating itself yesterday. Turns out Jenna pulled the exact same stunt at their engagement party. I couldn't help but laugh. You're kidding?" "Nope." Stood up and told everyone she needed more time before setting a date and asked people not to buy gifts yet. Gym guy apparently walked out right then and there. "It's over." "That's remarkably consistent of her," I said. "Yeah, Lauren said Megan told her that their parents finally sat Jenna down for some kind of intervention about her commitment issues. Probably long overdue." After we hung up, I thought about how differently things might have gone if I'd ignored my instincts that day. If I'd convinced myself her behavior was just nerves or a momentary lapse in judgment. if I'd prioritized the relationship over my self-respect. I might still be with someone who fundamentally couldn't commit, constantly looking over my shoulder, wondering if today was the day she'd decide she needed more time again. Instead, I'm building something real with someone who knows what she wants and communicates directly. No games, no public humiliation, no divided loyalties. Sometimes the most significant decision isn't where to go next, but what to walk away from. And sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's the life you build after closing a door that was never meant to stay open.